Republican Congressman Garret Graves now from Louisiana joins us, member of the first House panel that was holding FEMA hearings today. We'll get to that in a moment. On that exchange you heard with Congressman Jim Jordan and the FEMA administrator, what about it? The employee in question, Ms. Washington, was on this network last night with Dan Abrams making the case, as I'm sure you've heard by now, that she's a scapegoat in all of this, that there are other people involved telling her to skip these Trump signs with these homes with Trump signs. What do you think's really going on here?
I believe that there is a culture within FEMA where there is a bias against folks that are more conservative. And the reason that I say that isn't just because of what we saw go down in Florida, what we saw in regard to Ms. Washington's comments, but also because FEMA has brought in this new criteria for how they're awarding grants. They've determined that their top priority, above responsiveness and preparedness and recovery, their top priority is equity. Look, the reality is you take terms like that, they're vague terms, you define them the way you want to. Our home state of Louisiana, we have to apply to this grant program that I helped create 120 times before we got our first grant. I believe that there is a bias. I do. And I hate to say that because you'd like to think that an agency like FEMA that comes in the aftermath of disasters is not going to discriminate. And because the disaster doesn't discriminate, but unfortunately, I believe that there is a culture within the agency that is biased. And I think it likely is going to be shown over time that Ms. Washington's comments about this coming down from above is actually accurate.
I mentioned you were involved in the first hearing earlier today. Just a short clip of some of your comments there, and then we can talk about the points that came out of that hearing. Here it is.
How would I explain to a taxpayer that a taxpayer, a citizen of the United States, is eligible for $750, yet a citizen of a foreign country under your agency is still eligible for assistance of $10,000? How would I explain that to somebody?
Congressman, the resources that are available to people impacted by disasters are a variety of resources, and that $750 payment is just to cover those immediate needs. They are eligible for $42,500 in fiscal year 24 for housing assistance and $42,500 for other needs assistance.
All right, so Congressman Graves making a different point there with the FEMA administrator. So isn't that, on that particular point, a fair answer, that it's not necessarily an apples-to-apples comparison? What would you say?
First of all, I thought that congressman was very sharply dressed, but more importantly, and to get to your question, look, I don't think that it was an appropriate answer. Look, and if we have folks that are from foreign countries, that are foreigners, that illegally come into the United States, and then suddenly they're eligible for thousands and thousands of dollars, yet in an instance where I was just in Western North Carolina weeks ago, we have citizens that have immediate needs that aren't being met. No, there's a fundamental flaw there. We're providing tens of thousands to illegal aliens that are citizens of other countries, and our own taxpayers, our own citizens, are being discriminated against. No, I don't think it's an appropriate answer. That you can't even remotely begin to defend something like that, and we need to fix both of them. We need to stop incentivizing and paying foreigners to come here and rewarding illegal behavior, and we've got to prioritize our own citizens and make sure that the resources, the dollars, and the other emergency resources are properly prioritized.
Congressman Garret Graves, a Republican from Louisiana. Yep, sharply dressed indeed. Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. We'll stay on that story. Thanks so much for watching. Just go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.